Hi, and welcome to the first edition of Live from the... The idea of this Facebook Live is I want to do one every week. And what I want to be doing is answering the questions that you've got. So this is not about me going, oh, I want to show you this and I want to show you that. This is about you telling me as crafters, what do you want to know? What ideas do you want? What techniques do you want? What products have I done that you're not quite sure on, or techniques you want to see again? So that's the idea. So for next week's Craft Cake, so for next week, I want you to message in on either the John Next Door page or my page and tell me what you want to see, and I'll prep something ready for it. I think next week's will be on Sunday night at the same time, 7:30. But we'll put a post out, or Sam will, who's acting as cameraman today. Say hello, Sam.
Hi. That's what you're getting from me.
Is that
yeah, that's what you're getting from me, everybody.
Right, okay. So tonight I've had loads of questions about the new craft artist flower foam and working with the Christmas rose. So I thought I would actually go through working with Sam's Starz dye, the new Christmas rose and the ivy, and just show you the techniques and how I actually do it. So I'm going to be using the new craft artist white foam, which launched at the end of last week. Now, just to explain the foam, because if I explain it makes it a little bit better. The foam is the thinnest you can get on the market. I know lots of people say that, and there's lots of different products out there. Nearly all of them are made in the same factory, and it's basically how it works determined by how thin you have it made. We have ours made as 0.6, so we just call it flower moulding foam. We don't come up with a new name or a posh thing for it. It's simply the flower moulding foam. And the difference is it's so soft and thin, you can actually mould it by hand. And that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. And to give you an idea, this is a couple of the samples made with it. So this is the one you may have seen on Facebook today with the Christmas rose. And to me, how much like Christmas roses they are. I've got another one here made with the new Christmas pack, which is using the dark red from it. And here I've just edged them in black. And again, you can see a very delicate flower, which just to me looks far more natural when you go for a darker shade and colour it out, rather than trying to colour it from white to red and then try and darken the edges. I find it easier to work with a set colour. So that's what we're going to try and do, and that's what I'm going to try and show you in the next 15-20 minutes or so. So, I'm going to start by cutting some of the that we all do. I'm folding a sheet in half, and the sheets are going to cut them down to get them through your machine so that we can make two passes and make two cuts at the same time. And then I'm going to use my Christmas rose dye, which launched again at the end of last week on Friday, I think. And this is, as with all my flower dyes and most of my foliage dyes, this is A6 in size. And what that means is that I will get 2 full from a doubled over piece, or 4. Just going to run it through, standard sandwich, standard cut sandwich, nothing posh, nothing different. And as we're going to colour them and stretch them, I don't need to worry about protecting it or anything. And that's just going through Boris. I think I called him Bruno the other day.
Bruno, not Boris.
Bruno, sorry.
It's Bruno.
Bruno. I don't want to think you named him, Sam.
Yeah, I did.
So same as my teddy bear.
Yeah.
So it's just running through at the moment. It takes an age sometimes.
And the dog we're going to get as well.
Yeah, you keep saying that. Right, so there we go. Let's get this out.
Yes, you can stamp on.
Out. Take the dye out, and because the dyes are Teflon coated, the pieces stay in the foam rather than staying in the dye. You see how easy it cuts, literally like it's butter or a piece of silk. It's beautiful. So we just pop all these little bits out. Now each dye will give us flowers in total, because it gives us 6 sets of petals, but it also will give us 9 flower centres. So we've got the flower centres, that these little ones with the little blobs on. To be honest, I like to do in paper and shape and add those as little tiny flowers or flowers. All of those popped out, you can see, from both sheets, and it's not damaged the other sheet at all, so I'll be able to use that for some more. So we'll pull these apart carefully. I've got 1, 2, when I get them out, 3 different sizes. And then the same 1, 2 and 3 sizes of the 2 petals. So I've actually got a large, the same for each flower. And you can use these singularly, or you can... What I'm going to need is I'm going to take another set of two petals. Now I'm going to colour this, and what I'm using is the Eyes Ink dye ink. So that's in the black case, and this means it's translucent. So a dye ink is translucent. You can see under it, so it gives you a lot softer shading and softer colouring. And I'm using verbena. It's vervine or something in French, but it's verbena in English. And using a finger dauber, I'm just going to go from the centre and wipe it out to the edge of the petal, just in a stripe. So from the middle, wiping it out onto the foam to the edge. Do exactly the same with the single petal pieces or the two petal pieces.
So what's the best ink for stamping detailed stamps onto the foam, John? Is Eyes Ink okay?
Eyes Ink is perfect, and you want a dye ink. If you're putting something, if you're stamping onto the foam, you want a dye ink because it will dry a lot quicker and it will give you the detail. A pigment ink will actually blur and smudge quite a lot. Certainly if you're stamping first.
Hope that helps you, Sandra.
Oh, was that a question?
Yes,
Oh,
it
sorry.
was. If anyone else has got any questions, please just write them down. I'll try and get John to answer them for you.
I'll try my hardest.
If not, we'll respond later on for you.
What I'm going to use now is I'm using some mint, again of the dye-based ink, and all the centre. Come on. Never. Should have taken the finger dauber off, shouldn't I, really?
Yes.
And do the same there, but I'm putting the ink just in the middle so that the little bits of sort of pollen on the ends are... And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the moulding. So what I'm going to do is take each petal between each finger and thumb of each hand, and I'm just going to pull upwards and see how it changes it. And then I'm going to take the end point and I'm going to twist and pull that out, just so I get same again. Pull each petal out from the centre. This is why the thinness is so important. But can you see the change we've taken already? I'm then going to put each petal on top of each other, all three of them, roughly, hands, and rub my palms together. And that just gives them a real natural twist as you'd have in a petal. So again, as one of my favourite sayings, like shampoo, wash, rinse and repeat. So we're just going to rinse and repeat again. Pull, pull, whoops, pulled a bit off, doesn't matter. Flowers are like that.
What size?
The large
Yes.
one. It's actually one I bought in Spain and brought back with me. So this has moved more times than my suitcase, to be honest. It's actually, I think, A1 or A0 in size. Because I have got quite a large work, so I find it a lot easier to have this down because it takes such a lot of hammering. And as you can probably tell, I do give my craft cave a lot of hammer.
Yes, I'll give you a little preview of the craft cave in a bit.
Okay, excellent. Don't show too much. Don't show the rubbish in the corner.
No, we won't do that.
So all I'm doing, taking each petal as before in my hand and rubbing them. Each petal in my hand, rubbing them. And what you're doing is you'll feel the warmth. That heat just helps just disrupt almost the way that the foam works. But you can see how they come out. The colour just looks beautiful on them, but they just come out far more natural. Stamens, and the stamens, each bob on the end is a different size, if you can see, which actually helps quite a lot because they look more natural than just being a standard ball. And I've put a little bit of wire on and twisted it on, really simple. What I'm going to do is just take then the smaller centre and pull it up and then thread it on to the top like that. Yeah, I'm going to take my glue gun, a little bit of hot glue. It's not necessary this, but it does help just to make that little wedge. Going to then take the next centre and do exactly the same. Thread it through, pull it all the way up. Can you see it's already starting to have the look of a centre? If you want to, give it a twist. This is mouldable foam for you to mould. So you can see there with no glue. Then taking my first 3 petal, I go through, and just before I reach the end, I add a little bit of hot glue just onto the end there and push it up. There we go. Next, take a 2 petal, place it on, and do the same again. Little bit of hot glue, lock them into place. And if you can see, just with the standard 5 layer, I've got a beautiful Christmas rose. Now, what I want to do for this one, I'm going to make a really full one. 2 layers on, put the layer on and push it up, and I'll have the final 2 on like this. Once again, just as I'm about to finish it at the end, get it in the right position you want. A little bit of hot glue just there, and just put that up. You can see there, got a Christmas rose. Now, all I'm going to do to finish it is turn it in my hand like that, and just squeeze and twist the end. What that does is just secures them all in and gives that beautiful final finish on the flower. So that's how we make a hellebore or Christmas rose. A double one there, really simple. So that's the flower section. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually make that up into a quick finish card, because I've had quite a few questions about. So pull this one in, and what I've done to start with, I've taken and I've just made this at 5.5 inch square, and I've cut into it just the background piece from the Sam star. Simple. I didn't add in the central star because I didn't want the aperture through. So what I wanted to do, and this is the simple version. So I've taken some of the moss green and I'm just putting down the Sam smaller. So I've cut this to about 5.25 by 5.25. And all I'm going to do is take my down in it in the centre. I'm then going to take a rubber embossing mat, then my thinnest top plate. There we go. While that's running through, you may not hear it on the video, but you'll hear it cracking. And what that's doing is it's just embossing the die, hopefully anyway, because that's the only rubber mat I could find was that smaller black one. So let's hope it worked. Here we go. Come on. While I'm doing this, Sam is not the best pleased. There we go. So if you can see the back there, put it onto the front, take the die off carefully because the tape can sometimes stick, but you can see, yeah. What I'm going to do, take the tape off and pop the die back on. Okay, then I'm going to take the mint or menthe ink again, and I'm just going to lightly go over the embossed areas. Really simple. And what this will do is just she'll add just a little bit more shading and will actually make the quilted effect a little bit. Take that off, you can see what I've done. Doesn't matter how messy it is. Now, then I'm going to take the top piece that we made. I'm just going to add some spray glue when I remember where it is.
You put it in the box.
I put it in the box, in the spray box.
Yeah, I apologise if it keeps going out of focus and we keep cutting off. It's because the service here is absolutely diabolical.
Well, we should explain the craft cave is at the end of the garden in the garage.
Yes.
And so we have to hope that the Wi-Fi extends on.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to spray this so it's gluey. You can use a fine glue applicator if you don't like the spray glue. And all I'm going to do is fit this over, arranging some of them over. We've got a shaded and quilted effect. Hopefully that comes across on the screen. So here's a card I made earlier. I actually prepped. So I'm just going to stick that onto this. There's just some mats and layers more of the moss green. So we'll pop that on. And then pop that to one side for a second. I've got here, I've cut the simple star from Sam's Stars. And I'm just going to ink this from the top point with more of the mint coming down. Then I've cut the woodland trees dye into it. So we'll give that a spray. And we'll add that on. The shading of the dark going into the light. Spend a little bit more time perhaps than I'm doing on it. Give it a proper press down, John. There we go. Little bit of foam tape. Ooh, I've got a double piece here. Don't think I meant that. And put that on. There we go. So just fit that into the centre, and that's then perfect for us to put our flowers on. Now, I'm not going to stamp, although actually I probably should. Should I stamp the...
Should.
Right, okay. So here we've got...
Whereas I'm just trying to work
shaded
out.
ivy stamp. Are we still going?
We are still going. I'm just seeing if I've got any better signal on my phone. So it stops freezing for everyone. I'm not happy either, don't worry.
You don't like your eye. So I've just put a piece of the moss in, and this is my brand new shaded ivy stamp. Lovely and clean, as you can see. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to stamp this with... And what I want to do is, I don't want to give it an even coat of ink. I want some areas to be...
Thank you, Tom.
White.
Can't wait to see the samples.
Oh, brilliant, thank you. Oh, Tom's doing some samples for the new stamps from the new company, isn't he? Yes, can't wait to see those.
Just to let everyone know, I have also gone live on the John Next Door share page as well on my phone, just to see if it is any better quality than John's signal.
Shouldn't be, but there we go. So what I'm coating this with is, this is the Eyes Ink Opaline. Now the Opaline is a clear finish embossing powder, extremely fine, heat sets. Instead of having a white or a clear finish, this has a mother of pearl finish. So I'm going to heat my heat gun. Always heat your heat gun. If you do your skin like I do, I'm terrible for doing that. And what we're going to do is, we're just going to... The best tip I can give when heat embossing is move your gun slowly as the powder melts. If you waft about, you don't do anything but overheat your card. Can you see, hopefully, as this comes through, it's not clear and it's... If you did a whole section of it, it would have a beautiful look. Now, here we go, get the last bits of this done. And if you notice, what I have done is I've stamped these two corners. These corners are very important. That's how you will cut that out. So that's how you'll cut this die out. So, is take the matching die, and this has two corners missing, two corners stamped. So all you do is line up corner to corner. And once each corner is lined up...
It's better on my phone, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. But your phone's the same one as mine.
Yeah, but it's service providers.
So, we're just going to tape that one down, grab the cutting plate, and what's cutting, I will show you. So, while that's running through, I'm going to show you. I'm just going to take... These are pieces I did earlier. And all I'm going to do is just pull them onto the back and push down really hard with your ball tool, just to make sure you crease them. You could spend hours going around the edges, but that's not how leaves are. Leaves are more like that. They've got more creases in them. They are leaves, they're not petals. I'm going to take some grenadine ink, again from the Dye Eyes Ink range. A little bit of it on my finger dauber, and just over the edges with the red, with the grenadine. What this does is gives a definition, gives a finishing line, but also makes it look far more realistic. So we'll just finish this one off. There we go. Okay. So let's take the one out I've cut just to prove to you it cuts. Otherwise I'd feel like I'm faking it. There we go. So when we pop this out, we get attached but stamped pieces. If you can see there, it's white on that edge but sort of clear on that. That's because I made sure first on there it wasn't all one colour. It gives a far more naturalistic look to me. So we can just mould it, but it's like it's got frost on it in stage, which I bet everybody who's still watching is going hooray, because I know I would be. I'm just going to put the flower arrangement together. So I've got 2 sprays of the ivy, and I'm going to go one down one side. There we go. I'm going to take the other one, which goes in the opposite direction, and I always glue, whether I'm using hot glue or the craft artist or anything, each of the leaves rather than the line. I feel that it gives me a far better look, more natural. So I'm going to take my large flower, hot glue on the back, find that far easiest for gluing down the foam flowers, and we'll pop that in the centre. Here's the one we made earlier, so I'm just going to snip off from the wire, which is great because it means you can reuse the wire again, you're not binning it. A little bit more glue, and I think we'll have that one tucked in there. There we go. Take another one I made earlier. I feel like I'm on Blue Peter. Ooh, I'm not on telly, I can say what I want. Except products.
You've got to behave.
Okay, we're going to pop that one up there. So I've got a nice spray, but if you can see, it's still not exactly right. And to me, this is where these extra pieces of ivy come in, because by tucking them in amongst your flowers, you suddenly can fill any gaps just like a florist would. And you can actually intersperse that little bit. So just there, nobody wants to see the base of that flower. So if I put that there, you can see it just covers it over. Let's grab another little one. We'll pop him. Oh, we might have to pop him there now. There we go. Pop him coming out of there. And a final little one I've got here. And we might actually pop that one just there.
No, Maxine does have to behave. I'm in.
Card. I can just going to rearrange or arrange my... There we go. Perfect. But that's how we work with the new Craft Artist foam, with the Christmas rose. And that's basically how we do it. So, I think that's it for this week. Really strange because I'm looking at 2 phones now, back side to side.
And I've got double view, so it's really weird.
That's got to be horrible. So that's it for this week's Craft Cave. I think Sam's going to have a quick look around and probably show you things on the back that you're not supposed to see for a couple of weeks yet, Samuel.
Oh no, what a shame, everybody.
Let's not do that one. So I'll give you a quick glance around and let you see what we've got in here. But this is where I work. Okay. And this is the first sort of live from the Craft Cave. If there are things you want to know what to do, ideas, techniques that I've given or I've shown that you've missed, you want to see how to make a particular flower or anything, just hit us up either on the John Lockwood Facebook page or the John Next Door page or even the John Next Door share group. The share group is brilliant. I really want to see all your projects made with John Next Door things and with Crafts 2 things and loads of other things as well. So if you can join those Facebook groups as well. But that's it for this week. And until Thursday, is it?
Thursday. Yes, Thursday.
Thursday, I'm on Hochanda with a brand new John Next Door, one brand new die and something back in stock from before. Don't want to say too much, so keep an eye on Facebook for that. So I'm back on Hochanda on Thursday. I've got some brilliant stuff from Find It as well. So at 8, 12 and 4?
8, 12 and 4 on Thursday.
8, 12 and 4 on Thursday. And if you come into the art of H&J Crafts,
H&J Crafts.
I've got workshops